Have you ever dared to call out the name of a legend? What if that legend answered back, dragging you into a nightmare you could never escape? Welcome to Bloody Mary Returns, where the line between reality and terror blurs, and the haunting whispers of the past refuse to stay buried. Are you ready to confront the darkness? Months had passed since that stormy night, yet Sarah couldn't shake the chilling memory of what happened. The eerie whisper still echoed in her mind, and the twisted reflection of Emma haunted her whenever she glanced at a mirror. Emma, her best friend, had vanished without a trace since that fateful night. The authorities found no clues, no signs of struggle, just an empty house. But Sarah knew the truth: Emma had been taken. The house where it all happened stood abandoned, a silent witness to her nightmares. Sarah had moved away, vowing never to set foot in that cursed place again. Yet the incident lingered like an open wound, refusing to heal. She tried to move on, returning to college and surrounding herself with new friends, but no matter where she went, Bloody Mary's presence followed her. At first it was subtle, a flicker in the bathroom mirror, a shadow darting just out of sight. Soon, it became impossible to ignore. One evening, while alone in her new apartment, Sarah found herself drawn to the mirror in her small bathroom. She avoided mirrors now, often covering them with a sheet or turning them to face the wall. But tonight, curiosity gnawed at her, urging her to look. The light flickered overhead as her reflection stared back. For a moment, everything seemed normal, but as she gazed longer, the air turned cold. Her face morphed, eyes darkening, skin paling, and there it was again, that twisted grin, the blood-stained mouth. She blinked, and her reflection returned to normal, but she knew what she saw. That night, the nightmares resurfaced. In her dreams, she stood before the cracked mirror from her childhood home, the air thick with a bone-chilling cold. Whispers swirled around her, louder and more frantic this time. Emma's voice called out, pleading for help, but something felt wrong, hollow and desperate. Suddenly, Emma appeared in the mirror, her eyes black voids, her smile too wide, too sharp. She pressed her hand against the glass, and the barrier between worlds began to ripple. Sarah screamed, jolting awake, drenched in sweat, heart racing. The room was silent, but the feeling of being watched clung to her like a shadow. The nightmares escalated. No longer confined to sleep, Sarah glimpsed Emma in every reflective surface: the glass of a window, her phone screen, even puddles on the ground. Emma was everywhere, her presence relentless. Each mirror whispered her name, or was it Bloody Mary, beckoning her to come closer? Friends noticed Sarah's growing distance. Paranoia crept in as she constantly glanced over her shoulder, feeling unseen eyes lurking. They couldn't understand how could she explain that Bloody Mary was real, that she had taken Emma and now sought her too. Desperate for answers, Sarah returned to the old house one fateful night. She had to confront her fears and find a way to end this madness. As she stepped inside, a familiar weight pressed against her chest, the air thick with silence. The mirror still hung in the hallway, fogged and distorted, a portal to her torment. Heart pounding, she stood before it, memories flooding back. She hesitated. What if this time it didn't work? What if she summoned Bloody Mary for good? But she had come too far to turn back now. With trembling lips, she whispered the words she swore she'd never utter again: Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. The house remained still, the mirror unyielding. Then, a chill swept through the room. Her breath fogged in front of her, and the mirror began to cloud over. From its depths, she saw her, the same gaunt, hollow-eyed figure, the same blood-stained grin. But this time, Bloody Mary was not alone. Emma stood beside her, face pale and lifeless, eyes filled with the same dark void. She was not the Emma Sarah remembered. She was something twisted and broken. The two figures locked eyes with Sarah, their stares piercing, making her feel like prey. Emma's lips parted, and in a voice that was not her own, she spoke, "Come with us." Sarah's heart raced as she backed away, legs trembling. The mirror rattled violently as Bloody Mary and Emma's twisted reflections began to push through the glass. The sound of shattering echoed through the house, and Sarah stumbled back into the wall. She couldn't escape this time. The door slammed shut, trapping her inside. The figures advanced slowly, deliberately, their skeletal hands reaching for her. Sarah screamed, but no sound emerged. She clawed at the door, the walls, anything to get away, but there was nowhere to run. The mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces, and from its jagged shards, Bloody Mary emerged, towering over her, her smile wide and hungry. Emma stood at her side, her empty eyes locked on Sarah, her voice echoing through the room, "We waited for you." As darkness closed in, Sarah realized there was no escape. The whispers filled her mind, drowning her thoughts. The cold touch of Bloody Mary's hand wrapped around her wrist, pulling her toward the shattered mirror. Sarah's reflection twisted and distorted as she was dragged into the abyss, her final scream lost in the void. The house fell silent once more, the mirrors still. But now two figures stood behind the glass, Emma and Sarah, their eyes dark and empty, waiting for the next soul brave enough to call Bloody Mary's name. As Sarah's scream echoes into the abyss, we are left with a chilling truth: some legends never die, and some mirrors hide more than just reflections. If you enjoyed this tale of terror, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. Subscribe for more spine-tingling stories. And remember, the next time you look in a mirror, you might not be alone.